Remember that I had that old YouTube video years ago about there's it was called "There's Two Types of Farms," and it's true. It's definitely a fact. I was living out there in Amish country for a couple months before my father died, and it was like it was the creepiest shit you'll ever experience in your life. They used to come by on horse and carriage, and they looked like Village of the Damned. Just these sad, hard, staring faces would come by clippity clop of all hours of the night. Sometimes there's drunken, there's drunken horsemen that crash into other cars out there. That's the kind of shit you see with on the highway. They'll take up the whole fucking highway. They'll stop a goddamn. You could be cruising along out in Amish country, doing easily 60 miles an hour, but you have to yield to these fucking carriages, whether it be late at night or broad daylight. Because that's the last time I was driving. I think I'd be out there driving my father's PT Barnum car, PT Cruiser thing. Yeah, and he'd give it to me. He knew I didn't have a license. He was cool. And he'd be like, I'd be out there driving, and you'd be cruising along at 60 miles an hour. All of a sudden, you got to fucking jam on the brakes and turn your lights on and be like, yo, and creep to a motherfucking 20-mile at the most procession of the Amish fucking Village of the Damn people. there was there was a lot of accidents, a lot of, and then you go to these farms, and the farms are just death machines. They're fucking like, they remind, the first thing I thought of when I seen these farms and got up close to the animals is this is Auschwitz. These are these Ethiopian animals, these ema- emaciated, uh, just and you go out and you're like, wow, this is, and they're all jammed up against a fucking wire fence and a couple posts, and there's way too many wild horses, and there's way too many cows, and the cow, and then, and that's, and you're like, oh my god, it reminds you of those USA for Africa commercials, or it reminds you of the Ethiopians on TV. And yeah, there's two types of farms, like, and the crimes that go on out there are fucking insane. One farmer, it's farmers fucking other farmers over. They'd come over. It's like, did you steal my fucking goat? What? did I take? I don't have your goat. I have a. This is we do dairy on this farm. Why don't you go talk to the other farmer that whacks him on the head with a fucking big metal hammer? Because I didn't do you like that. All right, I'm gonna find out who got my fucking goat. Because I got milk. I want to make with it. Like Indian food. When you're eating that, you're like, am I gonna eat the goat or have its milk? And in what order does it go? You know what I mean? It's like, which is where we got to use up all its milk, then fucking whack it, or and eat it, or do we? Yeah, though. But and the farms out there are insane. And my voice is destroyed for screaming for 16 days, and this piece of shit next to me chanting "Shut up." And I was unlucky in love for I was without love for most of my life. But when so when you and I thought Troy was bad, and then you find yourself out in Amish country, it's like I need to abduct a 14-year-old blonde Amish chick because you're not going to get a date out here, you know. And it was just thoughts of suicide. Hearing the fucking carriages, the horse and carriage clop by the fucking house at 3 in the morning. You're out of drugs and you're away from the city now, and I'm like, I need drugs, I need pussy, I need. This is the nearest town is 50 fucking miles. I gotta get the fuck out of here. And the Amish out there, they bend the rules. They bend their own fucking rules. They'll have they'll have electric generators fucking run. They won't use electricity, but they'll use fucking or whatever. There's tons of generators running at night. They'll bend the rules. That's what me and Summer were talking about. How so many girls get abducted from these counties, these Amish girls, and these other that take off for Rumspringer, and a pimp picks them up, fixes their teeth, takes them from they're half. Some of them are half retarded. They abduct them from places like that and put them in the sex trade and give them on basic insurance. We're gonna fix your teeth and sell your ass. They come from places like that. They'll never be missed. You know. This this teenager is visibly retarded. No, that'll work for the sex trade. They don't care. It's so macabre. It was just, just. Whew. Yeah, no. Let me just slip my dick in this fucking thing before we kill it. Yeah, it was depressing. And then you get, and then like imagine, and then you get subjected to a fucking upstate New York icy winter where you're out in a double wide trailer in the middle of the frozen tundra of Amish town. Nobody's getting laid tonight. The nearest bar is 25 fucking miles from here. No pussy will be had. It's all married up and locked down under an Amish gun.